Hey gang, thought I'd show off one of my favorite shirts. This is a Jaws-esque alien shirt. Is it cool? I think it's cool. I don't care if you think it's cool. Anyway, welcome to my top 250 favorite films of all time. This was going to be a 1001. I had good intentions, to be completely honest. Now, this is 100% honesty. I lost my papers. After I printed them out, I did this at work, right? After I printed them out, I deleted the thing because I had the papers. And a dumb move by me, when I delete it, I should have made 2 copies, but I didn't. So some of these are probably going to have been on the last list because I don't know how far I got. I don't remember. I'm not going back and looking. I'm going to delete those videos. So as you can tell by the thumbnail, I tried to be clever and put the 250 over top of the 1001, but I had all intentions of doing it. I was really excited about it. I had all 1001 movies, which when I was going through today and writing down stuff, I realized, or the past couple days, I probably had a lot of dumb shit on there that was filler, and I don't really want to do that. Ian did 250. I have my list of 100, so I just had to add 150, and I went through and I wrote a bunch of stuff down. I took a bunch of stuff off, and from there I came up with this list. And it's really a really hard list to make because there are so many films that I like, but do I watch them very often, or would I watch them again, or do I like it because I feel I should like it? And that's a thing. That's really a thing, you know. Sometimes when we get to collecting and buying, we buy stuff because it's got the name to it, you know, the stigma around it. Like, let's go ahead and say it. Let's put it out there. Citizen Kane. I'm not a fan. Would I have put it on a list? Why did I buy it? I had already seen it before I bought it. I know I didn't like it, but I own it. Maybe I bought it because I want to revisit and see if I like it again, and that will happen. But it shouldn't be on a list of mine because of some kind of stigma for classic films. And we've all been, or at least even if we won't admit it, we've been part of that to buy these because we should own them as a film. And that's not fun. And I've really tried to stop that and just buy stuff that I like and that I want to revisit and stuff. So anyway, I don't even remember where that started. So let's just get on to this. This will be 5 videos, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. Can't be 5 videos. 100, 200. It's got to be 6 videos. I know I should have done this before, but fuck it. Huh. I don't know, then. That's not 250. That's 210. I didn't think this through, so there may be more. There may be less. I don't even know. I'll make sure there's 250. All right, starting off with number 50. I'm going to do 50 at a time. We have young Mr. Lincoln, of course. Mr. Fonda, what I believe from watching it the first couple times, it's a fabricated story. Maybe it's based on some kind of a thing, but it takes place when Lincoln is a younger man and he's a lawyer, and it's got a really good story that he takes a murder case, and it's really good. It does a lot. The visuals are stunning, and I've already talked about the acting. It's top notch. Young Frankenstein, number 49, my all-time favorite comedy. A 48 Yojimbo. I don't really have to say anything. That's almost one of those stigma types, like you have to own this because it's Yojimbo. But no, that's actually one that I like a lot. It's a Wonderful Lot. No, I'm sorry. Wonderful Life. That's a fuck up on my part. We'll come back. Number 46, The Wolfman, Universal. I'm a huge fan. 45 or 40. Yes, 45. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Don't really have to talk much about that. Gene Wilder is perfect. This movie is such a fun romp through this fantasy land, and just a beautiful film. Next is Willow. It's Willow, man. It's a great fantasy movie with Warwick Davis and Val Kilmer. Directed by Ron Howard. Just a fantasy film. Next, The Wicker Man. Classic in horror there. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I love this movie. Oh, by the way, these are not in any particular order. These are alphabetically. So, there's that. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, from day one, I seen this. I have been in love with this film. Ian sent me a steelbook a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago when it came out. The second edition of it came out. There was one that was a red cover with the classic poster on it, and the next one that came out had a yellow cover with that classic poster on it. But it is a beautiful copy, and the transfer is really amazing, and such a great, definitely my favorite animated with human parts to it, so. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? Watership Down, this is my favorite animated film of all time. Very gritty. Vertigo, Jimmy Stewart. Vanishing, this is a foreign film. I'm wanting to say it's Danish. I'm probably wrong on that. But it is one of the best thrillers, even though I've come to like that word. I've never really been a fan of the word thriller because it doesn't really know what it is. Is it a horror movie? Is it a suspense movie? Well, that's what it is. It's a horror suspense movie. We have thriller. And this is one of the best. Urban Cowboy. I have no reason to like this film. It has got country music. It's got John Travolta. And I don't know, but this has such a great story that I'm drawn to that. So, Urban Cowboy. Uninvited. This is a Mike movie, ghost story. Very, very, very good. Unforgiven. It's Clint Eastwood. It's his, probably, I don't know if I could say that. If I could say most known film, that's not true. But one of his best. Definitely one of his more modern best. Training Day with Denzel. Number 33, Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman. Very classic. I was so glad when they put that on Criterion to have all the extra stuff with that. It's such a great movie. Hitchcock's To Catch a Thief. 31, Time Bandits, which I spoke about on the other channel yesterday, about being one of my favorite films from Ian's birth year. John Carpenter's The Thing. Where did I go with this? This is out of order, but The Vanishing, the American remake of The Vanishing, very, very good as well. Not as good as the original, but if you are, simple in the head or whatever you want to call yourself, and you don't like to read subtitles, there is an American version for you. It's not near as strong, but it is pretty good. Terminator, which is much superior to T2, which is the next one on the list. But Terminator is more of a horror-based film, and a really damn good one, too, as far as sci-fi horror goes. T2 is a way to show off money with very little interesting story, to me. But I still love it as far as a sci-fi film. It still fits in the 250 favorites because of the great solid sci-fi into it. The Liquid Terminator is fantastic, so it still gets a spot there. Teen Wolf. A lot of these will be 80 nostalgia films because that's when most of my movie watching growing up did, was in the late 70s, early 80s, early to mid 80s was where where I started loving film, so a lot of them stick with me there. 25, Taxi Driver, my favorite Scorsese film and De Niro film, I guess, since they're both in it, or both part of it. The original taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, with Walter Matthau. Such a great suspense movie. They remade this with Denzel Washington, which also is really good. It didn't make my list, but it's a more up to date version for all you people that don't like old movies. But Pelham is really good. This is a really older film, but it's literally George Reeves is probably my favorite Superman. I love the Adventures of Superman TV show with a passion. It is hands down one of my favorite superhero media things, anything that's been on film or whatever. And Superman versus the Mole Men is fantastic. I love this movie. I just can't get enough of it. It is solid, even from the 50s. It is super solid and super well done, especially if you like those early serial type films or segments. This one is a film, but really, really highly recommend that for any superhero fan. Give into it. It's an older film, but give into it. Next, number 22, Superman from 1978. It's Superman. Okay. Next, Strangers on a Train. Probably my favorite of the noir genre. I'm just getting into it more and more, and I am finding more and more films, Mike. I am finding them, and I am liking them. So you guys keep coming with them, and I'll keep trying to watch them. And slowly, I'm getting into more and more of this genre that I wouldn't normally think right off the bat is noir. So this is one of them that I really enjoy. Stand By Me, I've talked about this a billion times. It's one that really, really means a lot to me. Very, very good movie. Spider Baby, if you haven't seen this, I highly recommend it. Number 18, Spellbound. Another Hitchcock. And there's a lot of Hitchcock on here because I truly, and don't just say this because it's Alfred Hitchcock, I truly do love probably 90% of his films. They are so well told, even if they're not horror movies, which I think a lot of people get the misconception, especially people that don't like immerse ourselves in film like we do. People that just like to watch movies. There's a difference. There's a difference. A lot of people will that I've even talked to are Hitchcock's a horror guy. Well, not really. But he is a great storyteller, and suspense is bam right there. And Spellbound is one of them. Going back to the 80s, 90s, we have Spaceballs. Mel Brooks. I don't have to say anymore. Number 16, Soylent Green with Charlton Heston. Super great sci-fi film. Some Like It Hot. I watched this a couple years ago, and then I almost immediately rebought it on Criterion. It is such a great movie. Marilyn, I've pretty much fell in love with Marilyn in the past 3 years with stuff she's done, and there have been a handful of films that are just plain straight out really good movies, and this is one of them. I laugh my ass off at this. It has got so much good stuff in it, and it is it just buy it. 16 Candles. Once again, we're going back to the 80s there. Silence of the Lambs. I don't think any list should be not have that on it. The Shootist. This is probably the only time you will see John Wayne on a favorite list of mine. I literally love The Shootist. The story is so well told. Even he doesn't bother me too bad in this. And of course, it's got Jimmy Stewart. and has such a really good, way out. And you'll know what I mean if you ever watch it, if you have. Number 11, The Shining. And I'm saying these like this is number 11, but it's not really number 11. This is number 11 on this list. So this is the last 50. So I'm going to stop saying numbers, okay? I just realized that. The Shining. Then we have The Schindler's List. Should this be a movie that you really enjoy? Sure. Sure it can be. Shenandoah. At one time when I was doing my movies, this last time, putting them all on the shelves, I had 3 copies of Shenandoah and didn't even know it. And it was great. Shawshank Redemption. Shadow of the Vampire. If you haven't seen this, I highly recommend this. This is Willem Dafoe, and this is a fictional tale of how Nosferatu was made. It goes into the lore of Nosferatu was literally a vampire, and they were just paying this guy to be an actor, but he was a real vampire. It really plays it off, and it is Willem Dafoe, creepy as fuck, and is good in this too. Number 6, Shadow of a Doubt. Not number 6. Don't listen to that. That was a fucking lie. Shadow of a Doubt. 7 Samurai. The ultimate Mike film, Seconds. I talk about this film way too fucking much. It is a fucking amazing film. I don't care what Ian says about it. This is ultimate Twilight Zone, sci-fi, amazing. So, there you go. It is a Mike film. It's probably the first film, if it wasn't the Uninvited or Innocence, it was this movie, is the first film that I ever, really took a recommendation that Mike had talked about and just bought it. And I have done that ever since, and I've never once been disappointed. Although I've never bought a beach party movie. So until you can show me a ghost story involving beach bums or a Annette Funicello zombie movie, I'm not buying the beach stories. So, trick no good, as they say in the prison system. Next, 7, noir type. I think it probably would fit in the noir, new noir, if that's a thing. New noir. I don't know if that's a thing. Scarface. Another one of those that can get lost in the stigma of collecting movies. Did you buy this because it's Scarface, or did you buy it because you enjoy the film? And I bought it because I enjoy the film. Next, Sandlot. I don't know if this list will have a lot of baseball movies on it, but baseball is so weird. I cannot stand to watch baseball. I can't stand it. It irritates the shit out of me. I have been to one baseball game in my entire life, and I was really young. I don't remember anything about it. And I live in Ohio, where baseball is the fucking Reds are the thing. It's, we're the Reds, whatever. But I hate baseball. I don't like to watch it. But I love baseball movies. I don't know if it's something about the passion that these people have for this, but they always have a good story attached to them. And Sandlot, while it's not a professional baseball, and it's more of a coming-of-age story, it still would fall in the baseball category. But there are many baseball films that are good. I don't think that any of them are on my list. But I will, since I'm talking about baseball right now for some reason, and you're listening, or you've already turned me off by now. For Love of the Game, I believe directed by Sam Raimi, actually, with Kevin Costner. Hell of a movie. Not my top 250, but good movie. Field of Dreams and blah blah blah. I'm not going to go any more than that. So let me know what you think of this list and how I fucked this video up royally. How I did not come up with 250 all of a sudden. I don't get this. I'll figure this out off camera where I'm not so completely stupid here, because they all match up pretty good. No, they don't. Oh, no, they don't. That's what I did. Okay, we're good. We don't have to miss anything. I forgot to print off the C's, B's, and A's. They're on the first 50. So my video, Ian said his 250 was 6 or 5 videos. Mine is going to be 6 because I'm going to do the first 240 and then my top 10 list here with my top 10 favorite films of all time. It has been finalized. It is there. I will now fold this up. That's Molly and her sisters, Gemma, Maggie, and Ripley. They're barking at somebody outside because hey! Sorry, I didn't mean it. That's Ripley. She's an asshole. But anyway.